Beep beep, everybody. Today it's jampacks.net 1978 Topps Baseball Complete Set Break. And from what I understand, they take a complete set and they break it apart into random groups of cards and repack them in boxes like this. And there are a total of 33 boxes. These were $31.99 on their website. And pardon me while I wandered off. So they're guaranteed to have at least one Hall of Famer per box. So I'm going through the 78 set. And the key rookie cards in this set are the Eddie Murray rookie card, Jack Morris, Lou Whitaker, and Paul Molitor and Alan Trammell are on one card. Some of the key players that have high-priced cards in this set include the Nolan Ryan Record Breaker card, the Nolan Ryan base card, Carl Yastrzemski, George Brett, Robin Yount, Reggie Jackson, Mike Schmidt, Tom Seaver, and I think that's about it. Those are all 10 to 20. And in the case of Ryan, is up to could be as high as $40 a card, depending on condition. So let's get into these. Move this one off to the side, and we'll have a look at them. Now I've seen other products like this for different top sets from, well, the 70s, 60s, and 50s, and they get really pricey going back to the 1950s. And you have fewer cards in a box, and these have 22 total cards. Now I have a 78 complete set that I bought when I was a teenager from a card show in Philadelphia. And back then, this set cost $35. That's not the case anymore. I guess they can run between $300 and maybe as high as $800, depending on condition. So here are the cards, nicely wrapped up in bubble wrap. Here they are taped together. Try to be careful. Okay. And they are packed in, what are these called? Ultra Pros? No, Card Savers. Ultra Pros made a similar product. I don't even know if they're around anymore. My original 78 set, I'd say that was that averaged between good to near mint. There were a mixture of some beat up cards, but mostly it was a decent set. So I thought I'd get some more of these because maybe I'll find some stuff to replace from my original. And so far that looks really, really good for this Vita Blue. Look at that. I'm impressed. Now centering, they do give you a warning on the website that centering and fuzzy corners and stuff like that are expected in these kinds of older cards. And this is what the backs of them look like. So that looks nice. Vita Blue. Roger Freed. Again, this looks really great. I mean, these look a lot better than the cards in my set. There's Joe Nolan. Here's an Indians team card. And on the back is a checklist, and you can see how far off center it is on the back, but it's unmarked. And it's a bit off, quite a bit off center on the front, but the corners are sharp. The surface is really clean. These look like they've been pulled fresh from a pack, like recently. John Montague. And if I believe this was the first year that we had Mariners and Blue Jays in baseball cards, because their inaugural seasons were 1977, and I don't believe there were any in the 77 set. I'm not sure what. I don't know if there was a 77 traded set. I'm thinking there was, and I remember a 76 traded set. Eric Rasmussen has a. It looks like he's showing his teeth for the dentist in this photo. Champ Summers. Again, these look really, really sharp. Alrighty, there's Hall of Famer Gary Carter. So I'm happy to find that one. Yeah, that looks really, really nice. I mean, yeah, this one's really off center, but the corners are sharp. The surface is nice and clean. They really do look like they've been pulled from a pack recently. There's Dave Rosello. Bert Hooton. Longtime pitcher with the Dodgers. Jim Barr. Here's the first manager of the Blue Jays, Roy Hartsfield. And it even has Roy Hartsfield's playing career on there. And it's chiefly minor league. There was a few major league years with the Braves. 1943 to 1960. Here's Ray Burris. And Ross Grimsley, get a load of that hair. We're talking 1970s, folks. I don't even know how you would put a baseball cap on top of that. Tom House. All right, great. Steve Garvey. So although he's not a Hall of Famer, he sure should be in the Hall of Fame. But it's nice we got multiple star cards. It's not all commons. And that looks really sharp. Yeah, so I'm really happy with this so far. There's Sandy Alomar, and this is Sandy Alomar Sr., Jr. Played during the 90s and late 80s, I believe. And here's Ellis Valentine, who had a few decent years when he was with the Expos. This is pretty early in his career, too. Only 3 seasons up to that point. Longtime shortstop for the Dodgers, Bill Russell. He had a pretty long career. Pitcher Mike Flanagan, and there's an early photograph of a ball in midair. Again, that one is way off centered, but that's to be expected. Quality control back then was not so good with stuff like making sure your images are centered in the printing press correctly where they're making the cuts. Second Hall of Famer, Joe Morgan. So if it wasn't for Garvey not being in, we would have had 3 of them. So this is cool. I'm really happy with this. Again, centering is off. It looks pretty sharp. There might be a little tiny ding up here, but I mean, they do. They look like they're pack fresh. And Mike Willis is our last card of this box. So let's get into the next one. By the way, the first box was number 9 out of 33, and this box is 18 out of 33. And I guess when you make your order, they must pick them out randomly instead of shipping them in order. Randomize it a bit. It's a nice box. When they got shipped to me, they were packaged in one of those large bubble wrap envelopes. Well, not the paper envelopes, but the hard plastic ones that are hard to get open. And this was shipped, I'm not sure how that was shipped, but it didn't come in the regular postal system. So it was either FedEx or USPS, I believe, shipped this. I didn't see them drop it off. I looked out the door and I was like, oh wow, there's a package out there. And usually they're not for me. And it was. It was like, oh cool. And opened it up and these came already. That was great. So there's Jim Norris. And as you can see, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to get it close. There's some printing stuff going on here. The S isn't completely filled in there. That is not an error card. I know there are people trying to sell stuff like this on eBay saying it's an error card and they want like $1,000 for it. But these are not considered errors. In particular, you'll probably see a lot of 1987 Barry Bonds cards out there where this isn't the right example because this is not an 87 card, but the number is not completely printed, it looks like, and lots of people seem to think that's an error, and they think they can get away with selling that for hundreds of dollars, and it is not an error. Every single card I've seen is printed that way. So, buyer beware. Sam Hines. And there's Denny Doyle. And again, these look really sharp. Bill Atkinson. And here's a Twins team card. Again, the centering is a big issue with cards from back then. Checklist is clean. John Candelaria, the Candyman. Had quite a few decent years for the Pirates. In 77, he had a nice 20-5 season, 2.34. I forget how long he pitched. I think he may have pitched into the early 90s. Amos Otis, one of the premier outfielders of Royals history. And he had been playing with them back 1970 on here. And he was still with them, I know, in 80 when I saw him in the 80 World Series. Again, the centering of that is way off. But that's to be expected. It's hard to find well-centered cards from back then. There's Ben Ogilvy back when he was with the Tigers. He had some of his best years later on when he was with the Brewers, including one year where he hit 41 homers and had 118 RBI, so his peak was not yet in place. Started his career with the Red Sox. There's Billy Allman of the Padres. All right, Willie Stargell. There's the Hall of Famer in this box. Again, the centering is a bit off. Quite a bit off. But the card looks sharp. There's no problems on the surface. There might be a little bit of a surface crease up here. but pretty good. Probably better than the one I have. Bob Myrick. Yeah, that doesn't ring any bells. I don't remember Bob Myrick. Apparently a relief pitcher for the Mets. Not sure what happened to him. Tony Suleta. And there's the Rangers manager, Billy Hunter. He's got a wad of something in his mouth. There's Rick Langford. Had a couple decent years with the A's. Dick Pole. Jerry Augustine. Mario Guerrero, who looks very happy. Here's our leading fireman of 1977, Raleigh Fingers and Bill Campbell. And on the back are points instead of saves. So I guess they're adding up saves and wins to come up with the points. That's the only thing I can come up with. Raleigh was followed by future Hall of Famers Bruce Sutter and Rich Gossage. And there's Pedro Bourbon and Gene Garber and Charlie Huff, of all people. And Ron Reed's on the list. And Bill Campbell's at the top. I remember Campbell had a kind of a herky-jerky kind of delivery where, you know, as he was winding up, his pitching arm would just shoot out straight behind him, and then he just whip it around. I believe that was Bill Campbell that threw that way. And second place was Sparky Lyle, Laren LeGros. A lot of these names people don't remember anymore. There's Dave LaRoche, who I think was the father of Adam. Fred Norman of the Reds. And there's Ray Fosse. Randy Jones had a couple decent years with the Padres. He had 2 20-win seasons in a row there in 75 and 76. And I don't think he really came up to that level of pitching. Look at that, 315 innings pitched. That's something you don't see anymore. And the last card of this box was Eric Soderholm. So we got a Stargell in this box. We got Carter and Morgan in the first box, plus a bonus, Steve Garvey. Plus we got that leading fireman, which features Raleigh Fingers. So overall, 4 Hall of Famers and 1 player deserving of the Hall that's not in there yet, and hopefully will be someday. Again, let me bring this up. Jampacks.net. I don't know if these will still be available by the time this recording gets loaded on YouTube, but if it's not available, maybe they'll have a different year there. These were $31.99. There are only 33 boxes of this made. They took the entire 726 card set and split them up into 33 boxes, 22 cards per box. And you're guaranteed 1 or more Hall of Famer cards per box. So I really enjoyed this. I love the 1978 set. As far as I could tell, 95% of the cards look really sharp. They look like they've been pulled fresh from packs. A couple had just tiniest of dings, maybe a little tiny surface issue, but they are really clean looking. None of them had any wax stains or bubblegum stains on them, which is common from that far back if they'd been sitting in the packs that long. And none of these cards had that. Again, I thought they all looked like they were freshly pulled from packs, or if they weren't, whoever kept them in a box for a long time and it never got shifted around or anything. They look really, they look almost brand new. Pardon me. So before we leave, we have to have a plastic purple toilet go across the screen. I don't know, I'm just kind of weird like that. So thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you like it, go ahead and click on the like button. If you find my content interesting and want to see more of it, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified of future videos. I try to load up one a day. I can't guarantee that. Right now I have enough stuff that I should be able to do that for a little while, but you know, it's things get in the way and it's hard to fit in time for this. I usually do record my several videos over the course of a couple hours when I have an opening, and then I load them up after that and spread them out so that I'm not overloading YouTube with too many videos all at once. So thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day. Stay tuned for more. Beep beep, everybody.